I am sure, I'm positive, I bet my bottom dollar even, that by now you have seen at least one celebrity fast food meal. Yeah, you, the girl reading this. Unless you're living under a big stinky rock or something with a hair on it. It seems like after the massive success of the Travis Scott meal, everyone and the mother has their own fast food item, am I right, ladies? Lil Huddy had a Burger King meal, Megan Thee Stallion had the hottie sauce at Popeyes, and the BTS meal caused so much chaos that they actually had to temporarily close 4 different McDonald's in Indonesia. And then you have people like Mr. Beast who said, screw McDonald's, not only am I gonna have my own burger, but I'm gonna have my own restaurant, that's right, my own conglomerate. But like, why? Like, what's the point? Why are we doing this? Like, why do the celebrities make these meals? Why do the fast food restaurants make these meals? Well, I mean, I guess the obvious answer is money. But, like, why do these make money? Because the meals are never anything new. They're always just things that are already on the menu put in, like, a different package. Like, the Sweetie meal was literally just a Big Mac, some nuggets, a fries, and a Sprite. Like, I can literally get that all the time. I can literally get that whenever I want. To get to the bottom of this, let's start from the beginning. Who the hell was the first celebrity to do a fast food meal? Well, fast food and musicians working together is nothing new. The first person to actually sing the McDonald's theme song was literally Justin Timberlake. He actually has an entire 4-minute song called I'm Lovin' It dedicated to McDonald's. Like, McDonald's paid him to do the song. I'm loving it. But the first celebrity to have a meal dedicated to them was actually not a musician. It was a sports player. Michael Jordan, baby. And it was called The McJordan. The McJordan special was McDonald's first celebrity menu collab in 1992. It was a quarter pounder with bacon and barbecue sauce, plus fries and a drink. And the McJordan was only available in Chicago area McDonald's for a limited time. So it was super hard for most of America to get their hands on the McJordan, which made it even more exclusive. It was actually so exclusive that an old bottle of the special barbecue sauce used to make the burger sold on eBay for close to $10,000 in 2012. So I guess in this case, the sauce is what distinguishes the McJordan from a normal quarter pounder with bacon. Unless the normal quarter pounder also doesn't have bacon, then I guess the bacon also makes it nice. And believe it or not, sports people actually dominated this sort of corner of fast food at its birth. They dominated the meal. They dominated big meal. So I actually made it sound a lot more dramatic than it actually is. There were only 2 sports people that did this whole fast food meal item thing. There were only 2 of them. They didn't really dominate. There were just 2 of them. Which is kind of ironic, I guess, if you think about it, because isn't an athlete's whole deal to be in shape? Isn't that kind of their thing? Isn't fast food the last thing that they should eat? I mean, I don't know. I'm no athlete. I played basketball in middle school, and I barely even got put in, so I literally wouldn't know. This isn't sports psych. Anyway, fast forward to 2020 when the Travis Scott meal was born. A quarter pounder topped with 2 slices of cheese and Applewood smoked bacon. It's kind of interesting that McDonald's chose to make this meal a quarter pounder with bacon because the last time they did the whole meal thing with the McJordan, it was also a quarter pounder with bacon. Except the Travis Scott one has extra cheese instead of barbecue sauce. This meal was actually so popular that Donald himself had to deal with all these supply shortages of quarter pounder materials during the whole thing. If I had to put this on a tier list, I'd probably rank it an S, I guess, because it kind of set this massive snowball effect of all these other celebrities doing their little meals. But nothing, I think, has been as successful as the Travis Scott meal. Maybe because it was the first in 30 years, but we'll get into that later. It's a little bit deeper than that. Then came the J Balvin meal. This came in October, super soon after the Travis Scott burger. This was a Big Mac without pickles, fries, and an Oreo McFlurry. Now we see McDonald's starting to think outside the box. Instead of a quarter pounder, you get a Big Mac. And instead of a drink, it comes with a McFlurry. The McFlurry is the drink. And on top of that, if you ordered this through the McDonald's app, then you would get the McFlurry for free. Oh, what? Personally, sue me. But I actually hadn't heard of J Balvin before I saw his meal at the McDonald's drive-thru. So in this case, I guess this might have helped him gain more exposure. Turns out he's pretty freaking huge, so I guess I'm out of the loop. The J Balvin burger wasn't as successful as the Travis burger, but McDonald's was actually going to take this collaboration up a notch with merch with J Balvin. It was going to be a McFlurry bucket hat and Big Mac slippers, Big Mac Big Steppers, Big Mac Steppers, and then they canceled it. You can't even get one, even if you wanted to, because they never even did it. But after the J Balvin meal came an avalanche of total, absolute, utter, unadulterated chaos when McDonald's unveiled the BTS meal. This was a 10-piece nugget, a drink of your choice. Yeah, you, the girl reading this, and 2 new sauces. What? And the sauces actually seemed like kind of cool. But for all I know, they might have those sauces like all the time. During the first day of sales, some restaurants ended up with overturned tables and chairs in their dining room. So to cut down on all the crowds, the meal was then only made available through drive-thru and delivery. But of course, that didn't work because the crowding didn't go away because now there was this huge backlog of delivery drivers coming to pick up these BTS meals. And there were way too many orders for the employees to handle. Like, it was kind of a shit show. Things got so out of hand that the police in Indonesia had to stand behind the counters at these McDonald's, and 4 of the locations were temporarily closed. It got too wild. It got too crazy Friday night. All this commotion over things that are always on the menu. They're always there, and you don't even get a cool toy. So actually, I don't think the Travis Scott meal was the most successful. I think the BTS meal might have knocked it out of the park. But then came the Saweetie meal. What? Which was quite literally a Big Mac, 4-piece chicken McNuggets, a medium order of fries, a medium Sprite, and tangy barbecue sauce and Saweetie and sour sauce. You're probably wondering, how is the Saweetie and sour sauce different from the regular old sweet and sour sauce we already know and love? Well, they are quite literally exactly the same. They're the same sauce. One just looks different. These are all things that you can always get. You can always get these things at McDonald's. And you don't even get a toy. There's really nothing exclusive about it. But the marketing behind this was interesting because Saweetie is known for interesting food combinations since that viral video of her putting ranch on spaghetti. And she's also published a bunch of other weird recipes and food combinations like Hidden Valley pasta and ramen with flamin' hot Cheeto croutons. So the marketing campaign was focused on how to remix a meal, which I think is pretty cool. But they didn't do anything to remix any meal. These are all things you can always get. You can always get these. Anyway, in comes Lil Huddy with his Burger King meal. And this was part of this Keep It Real campaign that Burger King was doing, which was centered around the fast food chain banning 120 artificial ingredients from their food items, which is kind of dope. Are they replacing them with good ones though? We don't know. What if they're banning them and then they replace them with worse ones? The Lil Huddy came with a spicy chicken sandwich, mozzarella sticks, ranch, and a chocolate shank. At first glance, this does seem like an interesting meal because the food items involved in general are a lot more interesting. But keep in mind, these are all also things that are always on the Burger King menu. The Burger King menu just has quirky items on it all the time. But apparently from what I've heard, the mozzarella sticks at Burger King are so bad. They're really bad. They're embarrassing. They should be embarrassed. These aren't all of the collabs that celebrities have done with fast food. These are just the biggest ones, the most sort of relevant ones I could find. But out of all of the collabs that celebrities have done with fast food, whether it be a whole meal or a menu item dedicated to that person, I think hands down, the one that makes the most sense, the best one that's been done yet, is Charli D'Amelio and Dunkin' Donuts. The Charli D'Amelio and Dunkin' Donuts collab. Wow. Things that just make sense. This couldn't have been a better match. Before Charli was even sponsored by Dunkin', she'd been showing her drinking Dunkin' Donuts in her videos on TikTok for months. And she was so vocal about how much she drank Dunkin'. Like, just by drinking Dunkin' and, like, saying how much she loves Dunkin', in, like, 2 months, she gave Dunkin' Donuts 294 million free video impressions. But then once Dunkin' noticed how much Charli had been promoting their brand for free, they seriously hooked her up. They gave her free Dunkin' for the rest of her life. That's nuts. Not only that, but then they named a drink after her, called it the Charli, which is literally just like her order at Dunkin'. It was like a caramel iced coffee. And on top of that, they did a merch collab. They did onesies, iPhone cases, oversized Dunkin' scrunchies, shoelaces, keychains, and cold brew taps. This was so successful, but we'll get to that later. We'll talk about what this actually does for the food chains. But first, let's talk about, has this ever, like, sabotaged any celebrities? Has this ever backfired in any way? Where people were like, wow, after I ate that Lil Huddy meal,
I'm never looking in the same.
Kind of. I mean, apparently PETA was super pissed off at BTS when they did their meal, and they made a whole Instagram post about it, which is kind of silly, but that's beside the point. The Sweetie meal also got some backlash. By the time this came out, people were already fed up with these fast food meals that celebrities were doing, and this one was just a Big Mac, some nuggets, and fries. And the only thing remotely special about it was that it came with the Saweetie and sour sauce, which is literally just sweet and sour sauce. And this whole thing, it was $10. It was actually cheaper if you ordered the menu items individually. Like, I mean, the Travis Scott meal wasn't revolutionary by any means, but at least it, like, did a little something different with the Quarter Pounder. It's not particularly mind-blowing, but at least it's something different. Like, it's something a little different. The J Balvin meal didn't change anything, but at least it came with a McFlurry. Aside from it coming with no pickles on the burger. Like, that's so stupid, but whatever. The Mr. Beast burger is rumored to be absolutely horrible, like abysmal, abominable even. The people that I know that have tried a Mr. Beast burger said that it was disgusting. But even though that's the case, I mean, there's still plenty of people that watch Mr. Beast. Other than all of those though, I mean, like, not really. People still listen to Saweetie, like, even though her meal was, like, not one of the best. Like, no one was trying to cancel Saweetie over her McDonald's meal. So this kind of seems like a no-brainer of an opportunity for the celebrity, right? Like, who wouldn't do this if they could? Especially because these fast food chains are paying these celebrities millions, like millions, to use their name and likeness. You want to know how much Travis earned from the McDonald's deal? Estimated $20 million. $5 million on just the basic endorsement of McDonald's, and then $15 million off of sales. But, like, is it worth it for the fast food chains to do this? Is it worth tens of millions of dollars for them to just, like, put Travis Scott on a burger? Well, yeah, it kind of seems like it is, because when these things happen, they always boost sales. And not only does it boost sales, but it also gets people to download the app. Have you ever downloaded the McDonald's app? Do you know how much free stuff they give you? Do you know how much more it makes me want to go to McDonald's? It is dangerous. It's disgusting, actually. And circling back to the Charli D'Amelio and Dunkin' collab, Dunkin' sold hundreds of thousands of the Charli Dunkin' drink within the first 5 days of it being launched. It even set a record of daily users on the Dunkin' app. Like, users of the app skyrocketed 57%. Dunkin' even saw a 20% boost in sales for all types of cold brew coffee. All because Charli came out with a drink that's literally just caramelized coffee and called it the Charli. That's wild. It works. It just works. And in the case of the Travis Scott and McDonald's meal, McDonald's sales were not doing well at all before this meal came out. During the beginning of COVID, they were having an 8.7% decline. But when they released Travis Scott Burger, their sales went up 4.6%. You think that's crazy? Well, guess what? The BTS meal made McDonald's sales surge by 25.9%. Oh. And the fast food chains always use food that's already on the menu, so it's not super expensive to, like, even do this in the first place, aside from paying the celebrity to put their face on it. They also have to get new packaging, but that's literally it. Like, all the rest of it is the same inventory. And these types of things, are they really even about the food? Are these things really even about the food? At the end of the day, they're not, because you can just get this food at any time. At the end of the day, the celebrity fast food meals, they're just about the experience. They're about the friends you make along the way. They're about the ride, the journey to McDonald's. young adults these days are turning towards what influencers like and what they endorse. I mean, they kind of always have. I mean, celebrity endorsements are nothing new. But this is sort of a way that people can feel more connected to the celebrities they know and love, I guess, through like a McDonald's meal. I mean, it works every time, which is kind of cool, and it does make sense because I mean, the celebrities have to have a say in what the meal includes, right? Like, this is what Travis Scott would maybe order at a McDonald's, or like this is what Lil Huddy would order at Burger King. And so it makes sense. Things that just make sense, the meals. If I did a celebrity meal at McDonald's, I would probably do a biscuit with cheese, just cheese. That's it. And I would charge $10. Hey, if you made it this far in the video, give it a little like, give it a little tickle. Thank you so much for watching. That's crazy. You're crazy for that. And if you really enjoyed the video, give us a sub if you're not already. It helps the channel so much if you're subscribed, and turn on those notifications. Thank you. Have you tried any of these celebrity fast food meals? Which ones do you like the most? Do you have a favorite? Do you think they're all stupid? What do you think? Tell me. I want to know. I'm going to read it. Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.